let's get into the news of the day and explain to everybody why I'm so irate with Stefan Perot, the boss over at Elections Canada. I'm
Uh-huh.
not sure what those people do over there
Oh,
because
I can tell you, it's DEI initiatives. Because remember last week on this very show, we divulged that Elections Canada has spent who knows how much time and money developing
unforetold amounts.
developing a 7-year DEI plan. So elections is literally like the fifth or sixth thing list on the list of importance at the people at actually Elections Canada. Yeah. Diversity, equity, and inclusion ranks first. But yes, do go on.
Then election integrity.
Mhm.
So voters in Alberta in the Battle River-Crowfoot by-election, where Pierre Poilievre is running after Damien Keurig stepped aside for him. The voters there are being, and I just don't say this as Poilievre, the voters there are being targeted with this absolute BS. They have to use write-in ballots now because the friggin' ballot is going to be 7 feet long because
7 feet long.
the longest ballot committee, which are just a bunch of election meddlers, and what they're doing should be illegal. It's making a mockery of our election system. They
Mhm.
have over 200 people
Candidates.
who have just signed up on paper. They got their 100 signatures. So let me guess, all these people are just standing in a room passing around a clipboard.
Mhm.
And you don't have to put up any money to run as an independent to weed out this kind of nonsense. And so now they have 200 plus running against Poilievre in Battle River-Crowfoot. It is an insult to the Canadian electoral system. It's an insult to the voters of Battle River-Crowfoot. Oh, and by the way, this is giving them exactly what they wanted. They wanted to drive this to ridiculousness so that they had to write it in. Because you know who has a real difficult name to spell?
Oh, Pierre Poliver.
Pierre Poilievre.
Poliver.
Exactly. Pierre
Poliver.
Poilievre.
P
He's
O L L I V E R.
he's
P
got
U
a
L I V E R. Like this is like the absolute worst case scenario for this by election, and it's a recipe for like rife going off the rails. Like
yeah.
absolute, this is a recipe for an election to go right off the rails. And what has
Every one of
Election
those
Canada done is made it worse. They've
they
made it worse.
they made
They've
it
made it worse.
worse. They made it worse. They knew, by the way, that Poilievre would be targeted again by this BS because they did it in Ottawa Carleton. What was there, 90 plus on the ballot?
Yep.
And they let it go on. So
And not only that, but like the organizers of this longest ballot committee are openly out in the atmosphere, out in the media going, yeah, we're
right.
going to do this again. Yeah, we're going to do this again. And the craziest thing is these guys that are part of the longest ballot committee actually are the ones that went to court to get the law changed to allow them to interfere
Right.
in this manner to begin with. And nobody at Elections Canada since 2017 has thought to themselves, maybe we should do something about this. This looks like
Right.
it's massive election fixing. But
Right.
no. What does Elections Canada do? Go and dive headfirst into a 7-year DEI plan.
Yeah.
Like, holy Hannah, Canada. We
every
are.
single every single one of those misspelled ballots will have to be hand scrutinized for voter intent. Like, did they mean to spell Poilievre? Like,
Oh, I don't know. And you know, those sticky scrutineers are going to be like, there's just no guarantee that the person that wrote Poliver really meant, what's that other guy's name? What's that? Oh, Polyev? Could that, I just can't be
it's
sure.
this
Like,
is
it's crazy. And this is just a recipe for election disaster. And we're going to watch it happen live.
yeah,
Happen live. Yep.
yeah. It's revolting. They got away with it a couple of months ago, and then they're doing it again, 200% worse. And who the head over at Elections Canada, Stefan Perot, what's he doing? I don't know. The guy should be immediately fired. I've never seen such a inept bunch of bureaucrats at a government agency in my entire life. Their job is to ensure that our elections are secure and fair and free of meddling and schemes. And yet, what did they do? Lose 822 absentee ballots in
Yeah.
BC, a bunch of ballots misplaced or wrongfully attributed. It's messy, however, in a Quebec riding where the Liberal won by one. That could go back to court. We've got missing absentee ballots from all across the country. Now, Elections Canada says, well, there's a bunch of different reasons why they weren't counted. I know there were some that you didn't count because your election staff didn't turn them in. And
That's
so I'm
right.
supposed to trust your explanation on the other stuff, which actually wasn't an explanation at all. Why does that man still have his job? China meddled in 2019 and 2021. He still has a job. Now they're making a mockery of our elections and by-elections. Stéphane Perreault still has a job. The man should be fired from life.
But in his defense, Sheila, Stéphane Perreault's committed to creating an equitable, diverse, and inclusive workplace where all feel welcome. This is per his website. So
wonderful.
He is doing something, just not taking care of election integrity in Canada. That's all.
It's an absolute joke.
It's an outrage, is what it is.
Outrage. What an insult to the people of Battle River-Crowfoot who deserve a fair election, free of this meddling nonsense. And even the people who are involved in this apparently say that this is dishonest. This is from Juno. Whistleblower was duped by longest ballot committee.
Shush.
Okay, if you're, I got a tough time feeling sorry for somebody who got involved in election fixing. But let's read more. Whistleblower allegedly involved in the longest ballot committee has come forward saying he now feels duped and misled by the organization. After he agreed to be a paper candidate.
Yep. Because he says he took issue with Canada's first past the post electoral system. So his involvement with this longest ballot committee was a little bit of an act of protest. He's like, okay, well, if we're ever going to fix this first past the post electoral system, then we got to point out how it doesn't work. Right. And so I could see, listen, I can give it to him. I can give it to him just for that alone. Like, I don't want to hang this all on his head, because then what it says is he submitted his paperwork for the Toronto St. Paul's riding only 3 days before the election deadline. And it appears to show all of his nomination forms appear to show blank candidate fields, candidate activity resembling an unregistered political party, which is exactly what this is, what the longest ballot committee is an unregistered political party, and practices that could potentially constitute forgery or misrepresentation and impersonation under the Canada Elections Act. Furthermore, this whistleblower, isn't even from the riding that he ran in, which I think
hundreds of miles away.
Yeah, which I think actually brings up a really important question. Should the candidates that are running in a riding be obligated to actually reside in that riding? Because
or
right
at least
now
have intention to reside.
That's right. That's right. Because right now there is no rule that says, well, if you want to run in a riding, you have to actually reside in it. There is no, and should there be? It's a valid question.
He also said, I was duped, noting that the committee attempted to recruit him again as a willing accomplice to election fixing in 2025 on the pretense they were going to run a number of candidates in the Liberal leader Mark Carney's riding. They wanted me to go against, they said, Mark Carney. Then they tried to trick me, basically. It was actually Pierre Poilievre. They never did Mark Carney's riding in this past election.
Isn't that telling? So here they signed up hundreds of candidates, probably telling each one of them, right, we're going to run in Mark Carney's riding. And really then at the last second, because they're filling out all of the paperwork without the information on the paperwork. So these people just sign a blank document, and then it's submitted under false pretenses in a different riding for different reasons than they were told. Well,
I hope everybody involved goes to jail. I just,
Maybe, yeah, maybe Elections Canada could look into
can
this
we see if
instead of.
money changed hands?
Oh, well, that's one of the requirements is you must
Right, you
have a
need to
bank
have a
account.
and you must have a CFO.
That's
Now, with
right.
money changing hands for like people just doing this, I refuse to believe, by the way, that so many people on the left, they would do this for altruistic reasons. They pay their protesters because they can't get these lazy bones to stand up for a thing that they believe in, without getting paid. So I have a tough time believing that money did not change hands
Oh,
for
so
these
do I.
AG
Of course,
candidates.
of course, of course, of course it did. We just have to dig a little deeper and wait a little longer, and we'll find out exactly how this all went down. But
Oh,
yeah,
that
hey,
requires
if
the police and Elections Canada to
yeah,
do an investigation, and
yeah,
I'm not confident they will.
well, I mean, they got to do something because being committed to DEI while you let elections get stolen and your name is Elections Canada, well, that's not a good look. It's not a good look now, is it?
Yeah, the Battle River-Crowfoot riding currently has 209 candidates, 199 of which appear to be associated with the longest ballot committee.
Holy Hannah.
That's how bad it is.
That is uh that is industrial election interference, industrial scale election interference right there. And then they laugh about it and they tell us that, this was the intent all along.
Yep.
While they go to court and get the laws changed to make sure that they can do this. Nobody stops them in 8 years. It is crazy. This is crazy. This is another example of public institutions in Canada that are digging their own graves because while they on the surface look and act like they're concerned with fulfilling the mandate of their institution, they do nothing but drop the ball and crap the bed and let Canadians think that they are incompetent fools. Mhm.